Yeah, yeah. MJF finally came out to let you know that he's about to set wrestling on fire.
Now, the reason why this matters is because, of course, Mox said he never wants to see Regal again. Well, Mox wasn't in the arena, and Regal gets to come out, introduce our new world champion. The music was at the perfect point, like he was coming out again. So,
Yeah.
not really much talking, to kind of start everything off. MJF kind of hops right to the point. Exactly what Regal said he was going to talk about and tell us all last week. He didn't do any of those, should I tell you, should I not? Jumps right into it.
He's like, here's the emails.
It was from after the firm attacked MJF. Because, MJF was saying he wants to do it on his own and everything. And basically, Regal, like the firm, all this says MJF growing weak.
Yeah.
Sure. Because he wants to grow. I don't know, but I do get it in terms of being a bad guy, though.
Yeah, Regal said he can be the greatest villain of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. I wonder if that was in all caps. Because he said it like that.
But basically, his whole thing was like, you could be the greatest villain, but you mustn't grab the diamond ring. You must grab the brass one instead. Which also, play on word for grab the brass ring, about the whole WWE kind of going back to where their story began, all that good stuff. Now, I actually thought this part was good though. Said it was important for it to not be the diamond ring, but the brass knucks, because that was more symbolic against Mox, and he wanted to leave Regal wanted to leave an emotional scar on Mox by turning on him.
Yep. Yeah. He said this was. It's like, yeah, it was. He said it was genius work by Regal. Mm-hmm. That's how you beat Mox. You cut him deep.
Now, take those words that you just said, and we'll pin on them because we'll come right back to it in terms of genius. MJF says, nowadays champion, there's going to be some changes around here. The only thing he really does is show us, and he rashes, just hates the AEW championship, tosses it over the ring, right?
Yep.
To unveil his new one, which looks almost exactly the same.
No, the leather is Burberry.
Mm-hmm. Dark brown Burberry pattern on the leather.
Yeah. But yeah, still the same belt, basically.
The only thing,
a slight MJF touch to
it. His belt, the letters in the middle were dark. I feel like possibly darker than what the actual title looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not crazy. It's like that's one other difference, but same shapes and everything else. Starts to run down the whole locker room and says he's going to be on the long championship reign that would make guys like San Martino, Hogan, etc. jealous, which is big because he's there naming all these legends specifically from other companies and stuff like that.
All guys that have had really long title reigns.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely planning to hold the belt for a long ass time.
all the
Or
way
at
until the
least
bidding war of 2024,
2024.
where he talks about and he alludes to Triple H because he says the game trips. Once again says good old Saint Nick when referring to Akana's gonna pay up and it's not gonna be Tony. So definitely alluding to WWE, but then he says maybe no wrestling company. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Whoever cuts the
Hey,
biggest
if
check,
he gets
basically.
that, yeah, I'm gonna say if he gets that big, nobody but Hollywood's cutting the big, cutting a big enough check. Mm. Yeah, I liked when he. I was hoping that somebody would like call him out, but he like trashed Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks.
That's the one that
And
really surprised me. He did Danielson too.
yeah, he said because he said they were all fake tough guys, and then Danielson, along with being a fake tough guy, is the middest of the mid.
Now, Ricky Starks, when he got to Ricky, is the one that really surprised me that they didn't come out because the fact that they already have a match coming up and everything else.
That's why I was like, okay, because when he said Eddie Kingston first, I was like, Eddie's coming out. He ain't taking that shit. No Eddie. Then he starts talking Ricky. I was like, oh, okay, Ricky's coming out because they got a match coming up soon. No Ricky. Bryan Danielson. Oh, Bryan Danielson already had a match today. He's not coming out.
He did a little bit later, but there's a rhyme and a reason. And the funny part is Ricky Starks' match was like the next thing that happened. So they easily could have had him come out at like the end and then just have MJF and then leave. But that was not the plan.
Nope. Not at all. The plan was to surprise the shit out of you again.
Because he says one more thing before he goes, after he, kind of continues to say a lot of similar points. Good talking, whatever.
Yeah.
He wants to, before he goes, give a little bit of respect to Regal. He starts praising William as like for all the blood, the sweat, and the tears. And then it looks like he's starting to walk out of the ring and he's behind Regal. Mind you, he has the brass knucks on because he pulled them out during the conversation about brass earlier. Lays that old man out.
The old man. Laid out Regal's old ass.
I would say he sold it well, but he literally just didn't move. And I mean, they definitely put the gravity on the situation, though. I feel like that was portrayed well.
They did do really well. Oh, just mentioning the shape that Regal's body is in and how many neck injuries he's had, head injuries, and they made it very serious. And then Regal's a master at work, so even though he's just laying there, he looked like he was laying there dying.
They end up stretching him out. Around this time, Danielson runs out. They make a point to say, like, you see that he's half dressed. He's coming out from the trainer's room because, as you mentioned, he had already wrestled.
Yeah, still had on one boot. Had on shorts over his panties.
But he went to him with the back, and as you pointed out, fake ambulance because there was 0 EMTs in the back of the ambulance riding with Regal, just Danielson.
There was just AEW staff in the back. So it was like that one gigantic like guy that's always at ringside.
Doc Samson?
It's not a wrestler. I don't know. I don't know what his name is or anything. I just know he's a big ass dude for a dude that's not actually wrestling and just holds a clipboard.
Yeah, because I think usually at that table ringside you have whoever the timekeeper is, Justin Roberts and probably Doc Samson.
Probably then. Big ass dude, clipboard, black polo shirt.
But MJF wasn't done after he laid him out, actually. Kind of skipped a part. He recited the email that Regal sent to him to kind of cut ties with him trying to get into WWE by saying, we only hire the top stars and the top athletes around the world. Reach back out when you're one of those. Except he flipped everything, saying MJF only hires them. So, yeah. There was a rhyme and a reason. He says, you forgot you made a deal with the devil.
Dun, dun. Made a deal with the devil, and the devil said, fuck you.